Look, making $1,000 a day trading isn't about luck or magic. It's all about mathematics. It's all about the blueprint that you have set up for you, depending on the type of capital that you have, whether you have a large amount, a small amount, or even a funded account. It is all possible depending on the system and strategy that you use. This week alone, I'm currently up about $5,000 while recording this video, and I'm also up an extra $1,000 a day as well on another trade that we'd taken. Okay, last week we made about 15,000 points with BTC, NAS, SPX Gold, and USD CAD by setting out different trade ideas, and you can look at all of this in my free group. But what we're going to do today is we're going to show you the step-by-step process on how to get there realistically, so that way you'll be able to leave this call and leave this video with a guide to be able to get to $1,000 a day. Let's get straight into it. All right, guys. So as we start to go over this, let's first look at the math behind making $1,000 a day when it comes to day trading. Okay. So the first thing that we have to be able to understand is that a lot of trading isn't magic or luck. A lot of it is mathematics. So let's talk about the process and the math behind it. And then I'm going to give you guys a quick blueprint to be able to use. So that way, after this, you'll be able to start making consistent income here. So if we look at $1,000 a day, let's aim for something very simple. That's essentially just $20,000 a month, right? Because there's only 20 trading days within a month. That would be the goal. So right now, currently, I'm trading with about 100,000, even 200,000 of my own liquid capital. So really $1,000 a day is only 1 to 2%. It really isn't that much. It's actually very realistic. Now, does that mean I'm making 1 or 2% every single day? Not all the time, but the aim is always to get to at least 1 or 2% a day with a 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 risk reward. Sometimes I get more, sometimes I get less. Now, the formula here is to focus on percentages and not just P&L numbers. I know a lot of traders are going to tell you, hey, look, it's all about flipping accounts. Well, there is a math behind flipping an account, and that's going to be for this video and even a separate video, but I'm going to talk about a realistic math here that's going to make your income consistent, okay? Not just flipping accounts, because again, if you flip accounts and gamble, you could do that, but you might as well go hit a parlay or might as well go gamble, okay, with rain bet if you're going to go out there and do that. So let's talk about what realistic returns look like. Okay, most traders don't understand what good really is in the market. Okay, elite traders, and I'm talking like hedge fund return numbers, is anywhere between 3 to 7%. You don't need to hit home runs. You don't need to go for 100% to double your money every single month. What's realistic in the market that somebody can actually go out there and do, and I've been able to do this even with a 8-month track record, is hit anywhere between 3 to 7% a month consistently. That's my own trading. Okay, what I want you to understand is that anything above that is not, I would say, just rare. It's more unrealistic. And the only way most people are getting there is if they're over leveraging the hell out of their account. Now, it does work. And even me, I've done, I've taken accounts from 10K to 50K with crypto, traded accounts from 5K, 10K, and taken it to 20 to 30 to 50K. I have done that, but I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm okay with blowing the whole 5 or 10K. It doesn't matter to me. It's just 5 or 10 grand. And I'm okay with over leveraging, but also the risk to reward that I have is very, very well. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later. But when it comes to doing this, okay, $100,000 account, realistically with 3 to 7% returns is only $3,000 to $7,000 a month, which is great, right? And a 200K account liquid, okay, that equals to $6,000 to $14,000 a month. Now you can make a full-time living with trading, right? So the goal is not to win big, okay, on one trade, because that's gambling, but it's really just based off the system that brings you that profitability. Now, you might be saying, well, John, I don't have that much money. I don't have, 100 to 200K. Well, the goal is here, if you don't have 100 to 200K, then what you could do is you could leverage OPM, what I like to call other people's money, right? Now, the goal with OPM is you can use prop firms, right? Recently, unless you're saving money, unless you have a lot of money in savings, there's these firms out there that will test you and they will give you access to capital anywhere between 50 to 300K in funding, okay, to be able to go out there for you to trade live. An example of some of them is like my Forex funds for Forex, and for futures, there's Top Step and also Apex as well. Okay. And the way it works is you have to go out there and pay for these challenges that range anywhere between $50 to $500. Okay. But you have to hit a certain profit target or goal. It could range between 3%, 5%, or 10%. And then once you hit that goal while maintaining low drawdown, okay, and also completing the minimum amount of trades, which would mean you'd have to do this between 2 to 3 or 5 trades, not just get lucky on one trade, then you can get funded anywhere between 25K, 50K, 100K, or $200,000 in funding. Now, again, disclaimer, these tests are very, very difficult. What I recommend is for the average person to first use their own liquid capital or actually get the skill, then use their own liquid capital. But if you need to, the funding route is always there to be able to help you, okay, withdraw from the market. And we've helped dozens and dozens of people be able to not just go out there and get funded 100K, but also withdraw consistently as well. The reason you want to do this is because you have now leverage. And with trading, a lot of the market or a lot of trading is just based off of leverage, right? So once you're funded, you can keep about 80 to 90% of the profits without risking your own money. A great example of this would be, hey, look, let's say you get a 100K prop firm challenge. Okay, now you're on path, okay, to be able to now what? Go back here and aim for that 3 to 7% every single month consistently here, okay? Because now you have the capital to do so. Okay, now how do you pass these funded challenges? Okay, that's the key. How can I get access to 100K in funding, John? How can I pass these challenges? Well, because we've helped hundreds of people pass these challenges, I'm going to give you the insight and the secret today to be able to pass these challenges. Okay, the only way to go out there and do that is with a simple strategy. Now, a lot of times when I say strategy, people don't understand what a strategy is. A strategy is based off of three main components. It's based off of a confirmation checklist, a risk management plan, okay, trading plan, and also having the right type of skill. Now, what do I mean by confirmation checklist? A confirmation checklist, guys, is what are the 5 things that I'm looking for in the market to get into the market, right? Now, you've probably seen this in a couple of my videos. When I have a confirmation checklist, one of my confirmation checklists might be structure. Now, why is structure so important? It might be structure. And the second one might be institutional candle, right? And then the other confirmation that I might look for is, like, let's say one that I like to use is the Asian range, right? For my specific day trading, strategy. I like to use a breakout of the Asian range. And then another one might be trading at a specific time, maybe during the New York session, right? Let's say confirmation might be, I don't know, for me specifically, I like to use a lot of news. Okay, news trading with fundamentals. Okay, this is my way of trading. Okay, so that's my confirmation checklist. Or in this example, when we called out this trade live, and you can go check out our session here, we caught about 6,750 pips or 6,758 points in one session. The reason I got into this was because first, we were following structure. Okay, we were following structure. With gold, we were in a what? We were in a downtrend. Okay, we were following structure. We were following the path of least resistance. Okay, so that was the first thing that we did. The second thing that we did was we looked for an institutional candle, and we found that institutional candle on what? The higher time frame, right? We saw that institutional candle on the higher time frame, which is why we took the trade, right? We go right here. So we saw that institutional candle right here. And then we saw the Asian range here break out, right? This is the Asian range. Usually there's a lot of liquidity that banks and institutions like to manipulate price in, and usually during London session and Asian session, and they have a bunch of fake outs. And then we saw a specific, break of the Asian range, and also not just that, retracement of the Asian range around an institutional candle, which is why I took this trade. Okay, so structure for me was check. Institutional candle that mitigated this specific zone, that was a check. The Asian range as well, we respected the downside and broke to the downside of the Asian range, so that was for me one of the reasons why I took a sell. Okay, and then we were trading during the New York session around a specific time, that's another check. And then news and fundamentals matched up for me. Okay, news at the time came out really positive for the dollar, which for the Dixie, if the Dixie is moving to the upside, naturally, there's going to be downward movement with gold because it's an asset. So I expected price to move to the downside. So that was my market directional bias for the day. So that was my confirmation checklist there. You see, so that's 5 reasons why I got into, the market, right? I had a confirmation checklist here, which is super important. Okay, so that was the biggest thing. That's one part of my strategy. The second part of my strategy is having a trading plan or risk management plan. Now, I'm going to talk about that in just a bit, a little bit more in depth with math, but having a trading plan is important because tracking your trades is what's going to help you become profitable. We have a free trading plan that you can tune into my free group. All you got to do is get access to it in the WAP, and you'll be able to download the trading plan. Okay, it's going to look something just like this. I'll be able to show you guys, so that way you'll be able to get access, and I will send it over to you. Give me 1 second. Let me give you access to let me show you guys what the trading plan looks like. So this is what we get to our students here when they are looking to, obviously, a lot of times people call it a plan or call it a journal here, okay? So let me get this in here for you. So this is what a trading plan or trading journal would look like. So the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be your risk management or trading plan. And that is part of your strategy. The reason this is important is because what you track grows. If you track your trading account, it's going to grow. See, most traders don't even track their wins, they don't track their losses, and they're not able to self-audit or even self-regulate what's going on, okay, in the market or what's happening to them on the market on a consistent basis. So it's very key to have your own trading plan to be able to track what's happening, what's going on at what period of time, and also to have some sort of trading journal, and like the one we have here, be able to track the day, the pair, the lot size, the risk to reward, all of that, and also be able to give yourself feedback. The reason this is so important and why we give you free access to this, if you download it right below in our free community, is because the only way for you to stay profitable is for you to track what it is that you're doing on a consistent basis. It's like tracking your finances or tracking anything else in your life. It's going to naturally, okay, help you keep organized and help you grow. And the last thing that has to do with your strategy, which is why you'll pass these challenges, is going to be your skill. What is skill? Skill is your ability to be able to recognize patterns and pattern recognition. The reason why I'm able to make money in the market is because I've gained the skill over time. I'm able to recognize the patterns that happen on the market in a consistent basis. I'm able to see the higher highs, the higher lows. Okay, naturally, I can read the market very well. And that just happens through time and through practice, right? I can see the market very well. I can kind of understand where it's going to head to next. And the reason why is because built up the skill. So you have to be able to build up the skill, and it's going to take time. Just like riding a bike took time, just like swimming takes time, just like any skill that you have, like reading, it's always going to take time for you to be able to learn the skill. Okay. But the only way that's going to happen is with time. So you need all three of these things in order to go out there and to become profitable. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is, okay, the math. Because once you have a good strategy, which is the confirmation checklist, your risk management and trading plan, and then also the skill, the ability to be able to, okay, recognize patterns in the market. Once you have all three of these things, you become unstoppable. Now, if you lack one of these things, you'll end up losing. And I'm going to give you an example of how. You could have the perfect confirmation checklist, but if you don't have the skill to be able to recognize it, you're going to lose. You could have the perfect skill, okay, but if you don't have the right risk management plan and you don't have a good risk management plan, you're going to fail regardless. Okay? You could have the right risk management plan and skill, but if you have no confirmation checklist, you're done. So all three of these things are needed in order for you to be able to become profitable. If you don't have that, you're done and you're screwed. Now let's talk about the math here. And if you want more help on that, we'll be able to help you out on how to get access to all three of those things. Now here's where the math gets good. Okay. So let's talk about how to profit 10 to 20K a month and how to be able to do this consistently. Okay, on a mathematical standpoint, let's just break this down. 10 to 20K a month is really just 2.5K in a week, which is 2.5% in a week. Okay, so how many trades do we need to take in order to get to 2.5% in a week? Okay, well, realistically, if we're thinking about trading, you're not going to have a 100% win rate. That's just the reality. Okay, but what you can get close to is at least a 60%. And most traders are trading about a 40 to 60% win rate. You're not going to get to an 80 or 70% all the time. There's some weeks that you're going to do that, but the average trader isn't going at a 90 to 80% win rate 100% of the time in a year. Okay, it's very, very rare. Okay, I've done 80% win rates 2 weeks in a row, even 70% a week in a row, but like the next week I'll have like, let's say a 50%. But what you can do and what you want to aim for on average is at least a D. Is a 60% win rate or a 70% win rate. That's the good goal to have. Now, what that would mean would be, it would translate over to 4 out of 6 trades you would need to be profitable on in order to get to that 0.5%. So the win rate is what we really need to focus on. We need to focus on 60 to 70%, getting a D on the charts. Then from there, we need to focus on our risk to reward. And the risk to reward is how traders are able to scale without needing a 6-figure starting balance some of the times. Risk to reward and win rate is what helps me flip accounts. Now pay attention here because this is super important. Most traders have a 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 risk to reward. What does that mean? That means that when they get into the market, okay, they're trading and they're like say taking longs and taking short positions, which are 1-to-1. So you see, this is right here a 1-to-1. They're risking $100 as they enter the chart, okay, to make $100, right? $100 risk or loss for a $100 reward, okay, or gain, right? Now, this is most traders, and you're not going to be like most traders, because if you do this, you're completely screwed. It's completely gambling, and you're not going to be trading properly. You're going to need a 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. Now, with my trades that we send out, they're normally averaging about a 1 to 5 or a 1 to 3 bare minimum. I do not even look at a chart unless it's a 1 to 3 or a 1 to 5. I don't even look at it, to be honest, or take it unless I'm getting at least a 1 to 5. There's a reason for this, and there's a method to my madness, because you can do the math. I'm not going to do it on here, but mathematically, okay, you could have a 30 to 40% win rate and still be profitable with a 1 to 5 risk reward. And I'm going to make a video separate on this, okay? But with a 1 to 3 risk reward, you'll still be profitable if you only have a 30% win ratio or a 50% win ratio, and even a 30% win ratio with a 1 to 5. You'll still be somewhat profitable here, and you'll leave with some profits at the end of everything here, okay? So if we break this down here, that's a $100 risk on every trade for a $500 reward. Now, I do have a video breaking down risk to reward. If you want to, all you got to do is check my YouTube channel. You'll be able to see it, and I break that down more in depth. But I like to say that these are performance benchmarks here. The key to becoming ridiculously profitable and to becoming and being able to pass these challenges, like we've helped hundreds of people already do, and not just that, become ridiculously profitable in the market, is having a good risk to reward, okay, and having a very high win ratio. That's what's going to make you unstoppable in, okay, these funded challenges. And from there, you'll be able to get a payout here, and it'll be able to net you anywhere between 8 to 18K in a month. Now, obviously, we've been able to help dozens of people do this, but the real blueprint that I want to go over with you guys here today, and this is the most important when it comes to making $1,000 a day day trading, because I've been doing this for years, right? And to do this, you have to be able to have the right blueprint. So I'm going to give you guys the blueprint here to take away on this call. And this is going to be the real blueprint you'll be able to take away to start implementing today onto your strategy. So what it actually takes, okay, is, right, a proven strategy, okay, a repeatable system, a thing that you see every single time in the market that you're always going to take. Once you see this thing consistently, you're going to take it, okay? It becomes almost automatic, okay? Now, what are those things? It's going to be, number one, a confirmation checklist, okay? Whether that is your entries, exits, they always have to have some sort of confirmation behind it. Maybe it's a certain candlestick you look for, maybe it's volume, maybe it's structure, maybe it's liquidity. I gave you guys my 5 very roughly. Okay, so number one is your confirmation checklist. The second thing is a trading plan. You have to follow a plan and not your emotions. What's your plan for when you're entering the trade? What's your plan for when you're managing the trade? Because management is just as important as entry. And then what is your exit strategy behind the trade? This is also very, very important. And tracking all of this on your trading plan and your trading journal is very key, right? So that's the second thing. And the third thing is having proper skills, your ability to recognize patterns in the market consistently, okay? I might give you the right plan. I can give you the best plan in the world. I can give you the best checklist in the world. But if you don't have the skills and the ability to recognize it and see it, and even have somebody coach you along the way, you might be stuck. And there's nothing I can do to help you, because that takes time, energy to build when it comes to skill. Okay, you don't get skills naturally. You have to build them up over time. Some people are naturally better at pattern recognition. Maybe you have to improve on it, but hey, you could do it, right? And then you need a strong risk reward model. You have to have a strategy where you're entering every trade with at least a 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. If not, you're done, okay? Don't listen to these traders telling you that a 1 to 2 works, a 1 to 1 works. I've been doing this for 10 years, guys. I'm going to tell you straight up, a 1 to 1 isn't going to work unless you have above a 70% win ratio, which most traders naturally won't have. This is why 95% of people fail in the market. The only way to win and stay profitable is by having what? A 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. This is what most traders won't tell you, okay? And then having a decent win ratio, right? At least a 50 to 70% plus. I'm going to tell you something, guys. If you actually look at the top Wall Street traders out there in the world, the majority of them are only profitable 50% of the time. They'll average about 50, 40, sometimes 60%. But what helps them the most? It's the risk to reward. So this is a realistic way that you'll be able to go out there and actually be able to make about $1,000 a day consistently. Now, I've been able to average and sometimes do a little bit less to a little bit more, but at the end of the week, I'll average anywhere between, sometimes 5K a week, sometimes 10K a week, sometimes 3K. It just depends on how much I'm trading, what I'm risking, and also the benefactors of these 3 things, right? Is everything aligning with my confirmation checklist? Okay. Am I following my plan? Most importantly, okay, do I have the skills to recognize the difference, right? Appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. and I'll see you guys in the next one. And if you want access to some more free resources and things like this, all you got to do is join my free group, okay, where we give you access to a trading plan, even give you access to a free course, and also even some of my live sessions. So just make sure you check out our YouTube streams and we'll be able to give you access. See you soon. Peace.